Hey guys, so I received some DMs yesterday about the whole crypto situation, and quite a few asking about Bitcoin, specifically what are its challenges towards becoming currency. And I was tonight I might share two, specifically the way it's designed, that there really is a challenge in scalability if you looked at it. Now, if you were to study the white paper Bitcoin knows how it works in practice, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the way Satoshi designed it actually presents a lot of challenges. Firstly, if you were to look at the blocks on the blockchain, the blocks themselves are roughly about 1 megabyte in size. And because of Satoshi's proof of work system, it takes about 10 minutes to generate each block on the blockchain. And each transaction size is roughly 380 bytes. And if you were to work out the maths, then roughly it's about 2,759 transactions per block. And if it takes about 10 minutes to generate each block, then roughly the ultimate number you come up with is about 4.6 transactions per second generated on the blockchain. Now compare that to, let's say, Visa, which can generate over 20-something thousand transactions per second, then you'll see that Bitcoin, at least with its network at the moment, is largely inefficient, especially if it wants to become a medium of change as a currency. That is something it has to solve. Now, naturally, the first sort of solution you might come up with is then we can increase the block size limit, and that would solve everything, make it much more than its current size of 1 megabyte. And that is, of course, a very natural solution. However, that has also led to a lot of infighting in the Bitcoin community, because if you were to increase the block size limit, then you also increase the computing power required to actually participate on the blockchain by quite a lot, depending on what is the amount. And that would also alienate many of the small blockers or lay people trying to participate on the network with just their usual computers. And that would lead to centralization of the network really in the hands of bigger corporations and maybe even institutions, which leads to centralization, which is against the whole concept of what Bitcoin wants to be and the objective of it. So we have, again, by this itself, reached an issue of scalability, a challenge of it by its design. The design of it challenges the scalability, because at the moment there's an impasse, at least there's no effective solution to this at the moment. And then secondly, something that was often mentioned, but there is also an issue with energy. Now, of course, a lot might think, oh, that is just fudders, fear, uncertainty, doubts, people like Elon Musk who U-turn because of it. But there really is an issue, again, because of the design. Now, if you were to look at just how it's designed, Satoshi actually implemented this proof of work system as a safeguard to really participating in the blockchain. And what this does is every computer, in order to prove its validity, would have to compute and solve a complex numerical problem as they're participating in the blockchain transactions. And this is, again, to prove its validity, to prevent really other people from gaming the system with bogus computers and whatnot. But the problem with this is, with more computers participating and more transactions and the greater numerical problems being presented, all of this is plagued to be very difficult to solve, roughly about 10 minutes to generate each block, such that really it is highly, highly energy intensive. Again, computers, if they have to solve these problems, which scales, by the way, which adjusts its difficulty, then they are really using a lot of power to solve this, to participate on the network, to really realize the blockchain network. And that is highly energy intensive. And we can only imagine, with more computers participating, again, more requirements for energy. And of course, we know at the moment most energy is being generated through conventional methods of fossil fuels and coal. That is a great environmental concern. I think there have been many studies that you can easily search up and read about how, at the moment, with its current design, Bitcoin actually requires more energy than some countries even. And that is a concern, especially when most of this energy is being produced by conventional methods, which has environmental concerns for most. And that is really the issue. As it's trying to scale, again, the requirements will only increase. Now, of course, some might say then we just have to adjust to renewable energies, and hopefully that is a direction. But again, we do not know whether that can actually happen on a collective scale, and also the extent of it, and also whether every participant of the network are using or have the infrastructures for these renewable energies. So that is a real concern, especially when you consider how inefficient the network really is in relation to its energy requirements. Again, this is because of a design choice by Satoshi, the way it's designed that has really this downside or this challenge it has to solve. These are challenges that are tied directly to its scalability because of its design. And really to assess whether it gets closer to realizing a practical use, Bitcoin, we have to see whether there are practical solutions being developed for these things. But at the moment, these are the flaws and these are the challenges that comes with its very design. The blockchain technology is exciting, and especially its applications in many places. It really has so much ramifications for the future. But with its application to, for example, become currency, and its application in other areas, there are challenges that really do require practical solutions, and that's the thing we should try.